From NBC News, this is Today.
And Bill, thank you. Americans are still reeling from the latest round of bad economic numbers. Now 12.5 million Americans are out of work. That's as many as live in the entire state of Pennsylvania. And the vast majority of the newly jobless are men. Now more and more women are taking on the role of the family breadwinner. NBC's Mara Schiavocampo has more on the burden they are shouldering.
Debbie Butner has been hit hard by recession job cuts. While she's still working, her husband is not.
No job, so he's at home.
I've applied for anything from working on a trash truck to assembly warehouse. I've always been told that, you're the breadwinner of the family. So when you've got to sit and watch your wife get up, go to work every morning, and you're beating the bushes every day to try to find a job and can't find one. Right now, there's just nothing out there.
This is the first time he's ever been out of work. At times, he gets depressed, and he feels like maybe he's failed somehow, that he's not able to provide the way he wants to.
In this recession, 78% of job cuts have affected men who tend to work in areas like construction and manufacturing, whereas women tend to work in more stable areas like education and healthcare. Because of that imbalance, women are poised to surpass men in the workforce for the first time in history.
In 1970, only about 40% of the workforce was women, and now we're poised to hit 50%. Unfortunately, it's not for good reasons.
It's an unfortunate reality, not just for Debbie, but also those around her.
Rick worked for General Motors. They closed the plant December 23rd.
I stayed around to see the last truck run off the line. The last tire that went on the last truck, 3 of us signed our names to the tire. When that first Monday rolled around and the alarm clock went off, that was when it really hit me that, I have no place to go.
It changes your whole life. We're one, and when he hurts, I hurt.
For now, these women and so many like them continue doing what they can to support their families financially.
Yeah, we're in this together. Yeah. We're going to get through it together.
And emotionally. For Today, Mara Schiavocampo, NBC News, Dayton, Ohio.
And Mara Schiavocampo is here along with Carol Evans, the founder and CEO of Working Mother Media. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
And Mara, this is a striking number, 78% of job cuts affecting men. So the couples we saw in your piece aren't unique situations now. They're becoming more and more common.
Absolutely. The percentage of women in the workforce is steadily increasing. It's higher today than it was in November. It was higher in November than it was a year before that. So as you have women occupying a greater share of the workforce and men facing these awful cuts, you're going to have more and more families where women are the only ones bringing home a check.
Right. And Carol, the latest job report, 3 million Americans have been out of work for 6 months or more. So we're not just talking about temporary situations necessarily.
No.
These can become long-term situations.
Yes, and what we're recommending at Working Mother Magazine is that men take a page from women. Women look at their careers as a flexible opportunity. So if men, instead of looking at this as a time to really just be down and low about not having a job, they can think of it as flexing their career. They're taking a little time off, and if they just stop focusing on looking for a job when there are none and focus on their families instead and on what they can do to contribute, they will be all so much better off, including the wives who are the sole breadwinners.
And that takes me to my next question, Mara, because this has such an emotional element to it. I mean, there is depression involved.
Yes.
There are so many things that complicate just how the couples are dealing with it. What did you find worked for them?
Well, men are often taught that they are supposed to be the breadwinners. They have to provide for the family. And so this is a very tough thing psychologically for men to go through, because not only are they dealing with the reality that they're out of work, but they're also dealing with issues of self-esteem, which can lead to feelings of depression. And then women have to be able to support their men emotionally as well. So it's a tough time for the whole family.
Carol, I want to read something from the New York Times last month. Women may be safer in their jobs, but tend to find it harder to support a family. For one thing, they work fewer overall hours than men. Women are much more likely to be in part-time jobs without health insurance or unemployment insurance. Even in full-time jobs, women earn 80 cents for each dollar of their male counterparts' income, according to the government data. This would obviously place an even greater burden on families when the woman is the main breadwinner, correct?
Right. Well, it places a greater burden on women, because what happens is that women take the responsibility for the house and the kids, even when they're the sole breadwinner. So there's the stress of the home, and there's tremendous stress on her when she realizes that she doesn't have choice anymore. She used to think she had choice. Now
she doesn't. And following up on what you just said, a recent study showed that when men became unemployed, the amount of time they devote to childcare does not increase. In fact, it found they spend more time sleeping sleeping, watching TV, and looking for a job.
Basically, they're being depressed. And what women need to do, and women, just get out there, tell your husbands what you need. It's not a time to really ask for help. It's time to say, here's the work that needs to be done. Let's divide it up. And then one little clue. Do not nitpick them about how they do the work. Let them take control. It's all about women giving them the opportunity to be a parent their way and to clean the house their way, if they will. Cheer them on. don't expect them to meet up to your expectations.
Carol Evans, Mara Schiavocampo, thanks so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Still to come, does an aspirin a day